You've seen the ship sink. You've cried over Jack and Rose, but you haven't heard what really happened behind the scenes. James Cameron's Titanic wasn't just a film. It was a monster. A project so cursed, so chaotic, it nearly broke everyone involved. Actors were poisoned. Crew members revolted. Budgets exploded. Cameras rolled while real injuries and real tears bled into every frame. For over 2 decades, fans adored the romance. But buried beneath the love story are secrets darker than the ocean floor. From missing diamonds to ghost sightings to lawsuits and sabotage, this film was anything but smooth sailing. These are the 20 weirdest, wildest, most disturbing truths from the set of Titanic. And by the end, you'll wonder how the film ever made it to theaters at all. Let's dive into the secrets Cameron didn't want you to know. First, cast poisoned. In 1996, while filming in Nova Scotia, over 50 cast and crew were suddenly hospitalized. Their final meal? Clam chowder, spiked with PCP. People collapsed, cried, screamed, and hallucinated. James Cameron was stabbed in the face with a pen by a panicked crew member. The FBI investigated, but the culprit was never caught. Some think it was a disgruntled worker. Others whisper about sabotage. Either way, the set turned into a crime scene. Welcome to the Titanic, before it even hit water. 2. Kate nearly died. Kate Winslet filmed one scene too realistically. Her coat got snagged underwater. She couldn't free herself. Panic set in. Her lungs screamed. In those seconds, she thought it was over. No stunt double. No oxygen. Just luck and desperation. She surfaced, gasping, shaken, and drenched. Days later, she was sick with pneumonia. She never complained, but after the film, she swore she'd never work with James Cameron again. At least, not under freezing water. Third, Leo refused test. Leonardo DiCaprio nearly lost the role of Jack Dawson before filming even began. When Cameron asked him to screen test with Kate Winslet, Leo scoffed, "I don't read." The director stood up, ready to walk away. But casting directors begged for one more try. Leo reluctantly agreed. Once the camera rolled, he transformed. Jack came alive. But for a single moment of pride, we nearly had a different face on the bow of the Titanic. 4. Real death studies. To make the floating bodies look authentic, Cameron instructed the makeup team to study real Titanic victims. Frozen corpses, discolored skin, ice-burned lips. The research was traumatic. Some crew members quit. Others said they couldn't sleep for days. But Cameron didn't stop. He wanted every face in the ocean to reflect the horror of the real tragedy. That chilling realism? It came at an emotional cost. 5. Diamond disappeared. The heart of the ocean wasn't just a prop. Jeweler Harry Winston made a real version, featuring a 15-carat blue diamond worth over $20 million. Gloria Stewart wore it at the Oscars in 1998, but soon after, it vanished. Some say it's locked away in a private vault. Others believe it was stolen. Cameron never commented, but the mystery remains unsolved. The most iconic piece of jewelry in film history vanished without a trace. 6th set caught fire. The Titanic set in Mexico faced a fiery disaster. A short circuit sparked a blaze that engulfed part of the soundstage. Crew members fled. Equipment melted. Cameras and lighting rigs were destroyed. It took days to rebuild, and millions to repair. Some claimed it was an accident. Others pointed fingers. For Cameron, it was just another storm to weather. But insiders say it was one of the production's darkest nights. 7. Budget exploded. The film started with a $100 million budget. But the final cost soared over $230 million, making it the most expensive movie ever at the time. Fox executives panicked. They called it Cameron's Folly. The director offered to give up his salary. He said, "Fire me or let me finish." Paramount considered shelving the film. Instead, they doubled down. The gamble paid off, but the risk nearly destroyed 2 studios. 8. Tank was toxic. The ocean scenes weren't CGI. They were filmed in massive water tanks. But the water grew filthy. Algae bloomed. Oil floated on the surface. The smell was unbearable. Extras developed skin rashes. Kate Winslet got sick. Crew members called it sewage soup. Yet the cameras rolled. Cameron wanted realism. He got disease instead. The Titanic wasn't sinking. The cast was. 9th. Famous line fought. "I'm the king of the world." "I'm the king of the world!" became Titanic's most quoted line. But Leonardo DiCaprio hated it. He thought it was cheesy, refused to say it. Cameron pushed. Tensions rose. Finally, Leo relented. The cameras rolled. The line stuck, and history was made. But what we now cherish nearly hit the cutting room floor. 10th. Ghostly sightings. Crew members reported eerie happenings on set. Cold drafts, missing tools, strange voices. One sound tech claimed he saw a woman in a long dress vanish through a wall. Some laughed it off. Others felt chills. Filming a tragedy this big, some said, stirred the dead. And some of them weren't happy. 11th crew walkout. Tired of long days, freezing nights, and endless rewrites, the crew mutinied, literally. Several walked off set mid-shoot. Others refused to return without hazard pay. Cameron was furious. They called him a tyrant. He called them soft. The rebellion didn't last, but the message was clear. Titanic wasn't just hard on actors. It broke the crew, too. 12th. Improvised chaos. Cameron had no finished script. Scenes were rewritten daily. Dialogue changed on the spot. He sketched ideas on napkins. Some actors were confused, others furious. But the chaos added energy, emotion, authentic panic. Titanic wasn't built on order. It thrived on improvisation. The uncertainty? That was part of the magic. 13th set was dangerous. The ship replica was massive and hazardous. Slippery floors, hidden nails, heavy machinery. Billy Zane sprained his ankle. Extras slipped and broke bones. One camera operator cracked his ribs. The set looked majestic, but functioned like a trap. Titanic was dangerous, just like the real one. 14. Stars misaligned. Eagle-eyed astronomers noticed something strange. In the original cut, the night sky after the ship sank was inaccurate. Cameron had used a random star field. After criticism from astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson, Cameron corrected it for the 2012 re-release. Even perfectionists miss a few stars. 15. Music sneaked in. James Horner's score is unforgettable. But Cameron initially wanted no music during the sinking scenes. Horner defied him, secretly composed themes, presented them later. Cameron listened and wept. He changed his mind. The music stayed, and later won the Oscar. Sometimes, breaking rules makes legends. 16. Real footage used. Those haunting underwater shots at the start of Titanic? They're not CGI, they're real. James Cameron personally dove 12 times to the actual wreck, over 12,000 feet beneath the ocean's surface. At that depth, the pressure could crush a sub like a soda can. Each descent was a life-threatening risk. But Cameron craved authenticity. He filmed rusted railings, decayed cabins, and silent corridors of death. That ghostly footage wasn't reimagined, it was retrieved. What you see on screen is the real grave of Titanic. 17. Scenes censored. Titanic didn't look the same everywhere. In India, Rose's iconic nude scene was cut entirely. In China, violent deaths and sinking chaos were trimmed down. Some international edits even removed supporting characters to meet local censorship laws. James Cameron pushed back, determined to protect his full vision. But in many cases, he lost. Studio demands and cultural restrictions won out. To this day, millions around the world have only seen fragments of the tragedy, not the complete heart-wrenching story Cameron created. 18th lawsuit drama. In the years following Titanic's success, novelist Clive Cussler accused James Cameron of stealing ideas from one of his adventure novels. He filed a lawsuit, alleging the film's plot bore uncanny similarities to his own work. The legal battle stretched on for years, grabbing headlines and casting a shadow over Cameron's creative integrity. Though the case was eventually dismissed, the damage was done. For a time, whispers of plagiarism followed Cameron. Because when a film makes billions, someone always wants a slice of the iceberg. 19th Studio War. Paramount didn't want to co-finance the film. They thought it was too risky. Fox begged them to share costs. Even after filming wrapped, both studios expected a flop. Test screenings changed everything. Suddenly, everyone wanted credit. The film that nobody wanted became a prize no one would share. Oscar shame. At the 1998 Oscars, Titanic made history. 11 wins, record-breaking glory. But when James Cameron stood before the world and shouted, "I'm the king of the world,"
I'm the king of the world!
the room chilled. What should have been a triumphant cry landed like a thud. Some laughed. Others rolled their eyes. Critics called it narcissistic. Fellow filmmakers bristled. Cameron, the man who'd just conquered Hollywood, suddenly looked like he'd gone too far. Behind the smiles, whispers spread. Arrogance, they said. Ego. Even in victory, he felt the frost. Because in Hollywood, applause fades fast, and fame can be colder than the Atlantic. Titanic wasn't just a movie. It was war, a test of endurance, a storm of egos, accidents, and raw ambition. It almost failed, but it didn't. It survived poisonings, lawsuits, fires, ghost stories, and budget chaos to become the most beloved disaster film of all time. And yet, the real disaster might have been behind the camera. This wasn't just a movie about a sinking ship. It was a movie that almost sank itself. Now that you know what went on below deck, the question is, would you have survived?